So having a family, you mentioned there was a process that went into that. How has that future vision changed over time? Or was there a vision? Was it like there was just no vision and you just didn't really know? Or
Well, yeah, I'd say it's probably more of a like finding what the future vision was. I've known for a long time I didn't want to have a family early. That was for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I connect well with kids. I don't know. I I want a deep, deep partnership with my wife to be, and I think of that as one of the classic spiritual containers. You know, Joseph Campbell called it the spiritual ordeal of ordinary marriage. And part of that is that we each we each give a, you know, like our kids will inherit a spirit from us. They'll inherit a spirit of relationship from how our marriage works too. And you know, an image that orients me in all of this is I think about, I think I've probably said this to you before. I think about just like the unending line of generations of which I'm just a little part in. Like I have a very brief time at the wheel to make my contribution. I could end my time at the wheel and have a net negative contribution I've only taken, or I've contributed something. And
it's sorry, this is the line of
generations,
your descendants, and
yeah, yeah,
ancestors.
my ancestors, my descendants.
So you could literally crash the line. Like you could end it.
Yeah, absolutely. And a line that goes unendingly, you know what I mean, unendingly before me, and that there's been generations of making progress in various ways, and there's ups and downs, but here I am. What am I going to do with it? And literally, every single person is in this position in the relevant times in their life. And when I think about that, that's one of the places that I can, like, present right here, right now, feel a sense of the eternal. Totally sober. And yeah, man, when I think about that, like back when I was like tearing apart all my beliefs and doubting and questioning everything, you wrestle with, what's the point of anything? Is there any meaning? I had to figure out, well, what the fuck is meaning and purpose, and where does it come from? And what do I do if I can't ultimately conclude that the world is a meaningful place? What do I do then? There's an answer to that, by the way. And even if all of this burns out and we don't live forever and there's not something that comes after this, well, for as long as we're around doing this, as long as I'm here and not opting out, I could have a miserable ride or I could make something of it. And it, like, the most meaningful experiences that I've had have been ones where I had a sense of connection to something bigger than me. And one such connection point is that generational line, and the opportunity to play a role in it feels way bigger than me. And it also is not bigger than me, but just abstract, like I want to change the world. It's like, no, this is specifically related. I have a place in this, and no matter what decisions I make, I'm going to have an influence on it. And I was like, oh, cool. This is one of the places I make a contribution. And it starts with working on me. And then from there, it expands outwards,
Yeah, that, like, there are times where I've connected with that. Because for some reason, it just doesn't seem obvious. But the fact that, that I have a chain of ancestors going back forever, like until the start of life really, is incredible. And even thinking about, like, okay, 2,000 years ago, there was someone who was my ancestor. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Like, that's crazy to actually internalize that. Yeah. And then to imagine all of the people that came in between, and to think about, like, there were some standout people. Like, I have some fucking badass ancestors that did some cool shit. Yeah. Yeah. That is, like, such a cool realization. Because again, it is obvious, but a part of it is not obvious. It's not like that sets in normally.
Yeah. Well, and I push back if this is too broad of a statement, but our culture, I'm just going to say that our culture does not place I think very much emphasis on like our ancestors. I think that, I mean, I'm familiar with that kind of thing around like key religious figures and like political figures, you know, like from like a patriotic, you know, viewpoint. But like literally my ancestors going up the line, dude, there is so much like energy and sense of like direction to be gained from that. Um, yeah, yeah, there's a lot of power in that. That I think other cultures have a lot clearer connection to, you know?